Okay, this is the second portion of the tissue repair lesson. This is going to be the 3 stages of actually healing the wound. If you take a look at this diagram here, the first 2 images are actually going to be the first stage. You have hemostasis and coagulation. That's generally the formation of the scab. And you have the inflammation, which is going to be the blood vessels swelling up, white blood cells coming into the area, fibroblasts coming into the area, platelets coming into the area to try to do damage control. So we'll refer back to this image a few times. And also, if you look in your textbooks, pages 142 and 143. So the first stage in repairing the tissue, as we've already mentioned, is going to be the inflammatory response. I'm going to dub this damage control. If your house is burning down, you have to put out the fire and clean up the mess before you can rebuild again. You just got cut or you just sustained a wound. It needs to be cleaned up and basically get all the shrapnel out of the way before you can start healing it up. So blood vessels dilate. This results in swelling, redness, warmth, and sometimes pain. It depends on if there's nerves in the area. Scout, what do the dilated blood vessels bring to the damaged area? Okay, white blood cells. They fight off any possible infection. What else? Platelets that can stop you from bleeding. And then just generally fluid. Congregate at the injury site. As Scout said, the white blood cells here, they're going to kill any bacteria that might be in the area. The platelets are going to clot the blood and begin forming a scab. A scab is, in a lot of ways, just dried up blood and plasma. Now, as far as the scab is concerned, let me clean that spell. There we go. The scab seals the injured area. Have you all ever seen a car driving down the road and they have a garbage bag in their window? Yeah, that's hopefully a temporary fix. Maybe they're just in between the injury and or not the injury, the damage to their car and getting a new window. Perhaps they can't afford a window this week. So hopefully it's a temporary fix. Well, a scab is a temporary fix. If a tree fell into my bedroom window, I'm going to have to board it up. I'm not going to make that permanent. It's just until I can actually fix it. That's what a scab is generally going to be. Now, the second stage. We're going to start to get organized. And we're going to restore blood flow. We're going to have a lot of growth here. A lot of cells going to be growing, so they're going to need some blood. Capillaries regrow. A capillary is a microscopic blood vessel. If you're helping your parents make dinner tonight and you're chopping up some carrots for a salad and you just nick your finger just barely and a few drops of blood come out, you probably ruptured some microscopic blood vessels. If it was a big blood vessel, you'd be squirting blood all over the place. But when you just drop a few droplets of blood, that's microscopic. And this process of growing blood vessels is called angiogenesis. Now, I don't expect all of you to be Latin experts, but I would hope that most of you can decipher what genesis means. Beginning or creation, generally same thing. Angio means blood vessels, arteries or veins or capillaries. So angiogenesis is the creation of blood vessels. Next, here's Lillian cells. Fibroblasts, definitely know these. These are connective tissue cells. They produce collagen fibers to bridge the wound. That is when I think of Spider-Man trying to hold the two sides of that ferry together, that boat. Spider-Man is like a fibroblast, and his webs are like the collagen, trying to hold it all together and bring it together. Any dead cells remaining? Are addressed by white blood cells. White blood cells will take your own cells that are damaged and destroy them. Get them out of the way. And epithelial tissue multiplies at the surface. So your epidermis is starting to heal pretty nicely. It's the connective tissue that's going to be pretty thick with collagen. All right, so a few key words here. Fibroblasts, collagen, epithelial tissue. The third and final stage, everyone. Regeneration and fibrosis affect permanent repair. If you take a look on page 143, you'll see step 3. I want you to look at that white stuff that's in your skin when you're all healed up. On the third image on page 143, that's collagen. That's scar tissue. If I can go back up for a moment. You see a lot of the wound is healed, but this diagram really doesn't show the collagen or the scar tissue very well. This is all done during remodeling. Remodeling can actually take up to 2 years. I had a surgery in college and there was a lot of scar tissue in the area. A couple of years later, a lot of the scar tissue is not there anymore. 2 years. So it can take a long time. There is some still there, but very shortly after the surgery, during my initial healing phase, you couldn't miss the scar tissue. But it went away over the years. But it's not totally gone. All right. The fibrosed areas are pulled closer together, like the two sides of that boat in Spider-Man. Remember that the fibroblasts are producing collagen like in step 2. You have a lot of collagen. Collagen is like the glue of your body. It's got to close that wound. The scab falls off. The epithelium is healed. Your epithelium is going to be your epidermis. Scar tissue may be present. want to say one last time, your body is not going to worry about looks. Some people say this scar looks awesome. Other people might say scars are ugly. Your body doesn't care if it's ugly. Your body cares, is the wound closed? Some people that have a missing car window, they might think, I don't care if this garbage bag on my driver's side window looks ugly. At least it's keeping the rain out of my car. Okay. And finally, for today, different tissues heal differently. If you scraped your skin, that'll heal real fast. You broke a bone, all things considered, it heals pretty fast. A couple months for solid bone to heal, not bad. You damage your spinal cord, ugh. You tear your knee ligament, you tear a muscle, It depends on the tissue type as far as the healing. So fast healers. This is going to be epithelial tissue, bone tissue, areolar tissue, which is the type of connective, dense irregular, which is your your dermis. Dense irregular is your dermis, guys. They heal quickly. So your epidermis, your dermis, some of your other connective tissues and bone heals pretty quickly because they have a pretty good blood supply. Moderate healers. It heals okay. Smooth muscle. Dense, regular connective tissue. This is in your tendons and ligaments. Probably less than a year. I mean, all things considered, that's not terrible. They have a moderate rate of regeneration. Slow healing. Don't expect much from these. Skeletal muscle. You rip your biceps open. You tear your pectoral muscle. Ouch. And cartilage. I have a student in the back in my 5th period. She was in a knee brace for more than a year from her gymnastics accident. That's a long time. She damaged her knee cartilage. And then pretty much no healing. Your cardiac muscle and your heart, take care of your heart. And nervous tissue, brain, spinal cord, and nerves. My uncle was in a car accident and got in a wheelchair when he was 18 years old. He died in his 60s a few years ago, still in the wheelchair. When you damage your nervous tissue, there's really no going back. Okay, so let me stop.